Welcome to another biology presentation. So in this presentation, we are looking at how we can answer questions on an animal cell. So I am a presenter, Mr. Mlenga. So let us look at our question 1. So our question 1 reads, the diagram below shows a typical animal cell as seen through an electron microscope. So this is the typical animal cell that was seen through an electron microscope. So our question 1A, name the structures labeled A to D in the diagram. So here we have the parts A, B, C, and D. So we are going to start with identifying the part labeled A. So what is the name of the part labeled A? So the part labeled A is this part right here. So these are called the Golgi apparatus. Okay. Then we move on to the part labeled B. So the part labeled B is this part, and these are called the mitochondrion. Okay. So we now move on to the part labeled C. So the part labeled C, you can see it's the outer line that is labeled this one. Okay, so this outer line or this part is called the cell membrane. Okay, it's the one that is in charge of allowing some substances to enter and leave the cell. Now we come to the part labeled D, which is this one right here. These smaller black dots. Okay, so these smaller black dots, this part labeled D, this is called the ribosome. Okay, so we have answered our question 1A. We now move on to our question 1B. So here is our question 1B. The question reads, identify the part of the cell that is responsible for each of the following. B1 stores all genetic information. So which part of the cell is responsible for storing all genetic information? So when you look at this diagram, we have this part right here, which is on the middle. So this part is called the nucleus. So the nucleus is the one that is in charge of storing all genetic information. Apart from that, it is also responsible in controlling all cell activities. So here on B1, we have said the nucleus is the part of the cell that stores all genetic information. We now come to our question B2. Identify the part of the cell that is responsible for the generation of ATP from the breakdown of glucose. So ATP simply stands for adenosine triphosphates, and these are energy carriers. Okay, so which part of the cell is responsible for generation of ATP from the breakdown of glucose? So when you look at the diagram, the part that is responsible of breaking down ATP from the breakdown of glucose is the mitochondria, which is the part labeled B. So the answer there is mitochondria. We now come to our question B3. Which part of the cell is responsible for reproduction of proteins from amino acids? So when you look at this diagram, the part that is responsible for reproduction of proteins from amino acids is the part labeled D, this one, which are the smaller black dots, which is called the ribosomes. So the answer here is C, ribosomes. So the ribosomes are in charge of protein synthesis. Okay, so we have answered our question 1A and question 1B. We now move on to our question 2. So here is our question 2. The question reads, explain the role of the Golgi apparatus. So as you have seen, we are able to identify the Golgi apparatus. So what is its role? Okay, so one thing we must know is that the Golgi apparatus is also known as the Golgi body, okay, or the Golgi complex, because it is a very important organelle that is found in most eukaryotic cells. Okay, so what is its main role now? So the Golgi apparatus plays a role in protein modification. It also plays a role in protein sorting and packaging. It also plays a role in lipid modification and transport. It also plays a role in synthesis of polysaccharides, that is in plant cells. Okay, so from what I've said, we have seen that the Golgi apparatus is indeed a very important cell organelle, okay, that plays a very important role in the processing, modification, and transport of proteins and lipids. Okay, So its functions, they are very important for the cell because it helps to maintain the cellular homeostasis and carrying out various cellular processes. Okay, so when it comes to the synthesis of polysaccharides, that is in plant cells, the Golgi apparatus is involved in the synthesis of complex polysaccharides such as the cellulose, which is the major component of plant cell walls. So now, how can we write our answer in essay form? We can write our answer in essay form or in complete sentence by saying or by writing the Golgi apparatus function as a factory in which proteins received from the endoplasmic reticulum ER are further processed and sorted for transport to their eventual destinations, such as the lysosomes and the plasma membrane, or they are being secreted. Then in plant cells, the Golgi apparatus further serves as the site at which the complex polysaccharides of the cell wall are synthesized. So this is how we can answer our question 2. I hope it's clear. So we've now come to the end of our session. Thank you so much, everybody, for having time to view this content. This has been your presenter, Mr. Mlenga. Bye-bye.